Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys clicking on that video. As I promised, I'm going to have the wrap-up of my Midwest Gaming Classic 2024 pickup video today. I am looking at all these games that I got to go over here. I can't wait to share them with you guys. I go to this convention because it's fun. I love playing video games. I love pinball. But there's so much more to this show than that. There's table games, air hockey, live wrestling, LARPing, there's makers. I mean, there's just so much stuff to do at this convention. You've got the museum, the game center, and the vendor hall. And the vendor hall is one of the main reasons that I go, and because I live in southern Minnesota, there's not a whole lot of options down in this area. In fact, my favorite game store, Replay Video Games in Fairmont, Minnesota, is about an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So anytime that I get a chance to go over there and see what the new inventory they've gotten, I like to go that way. Other than that, I've got some mediocre stores in the area that the inventories really don't change that much, and it's important for me to go to these conventions so that I can actually see some of these games that I want. You know, I'm not going for high-end games. I'm not going to be pulling out a Chrono Trigger or, you know, a Little Samson, but the games that I get are something that I want, something that I want to play, and something that I'm just going to increase my collection with a little bit. And I'm going to go over that stuff right now. And right through the door, I got a sack because I paid the extra money for the very important Gamer Pass, which pays you for the preview night, your Saturday night, and your Sunday. And then you get access to the after party. And it's usually about $175. I see they've already got this year's tickets up for sale, and it's up to $180 now. But with that, you get a game right as you walk through the door. You get a collector pin, and I'm not going to go over the collector pins, the sweatshirts. I'm wearing one right now. I'm not going to go over all that stuff that I picked up. I'm just going to go over the video games and some of the consoles that I bought in this video. First up is going to be Krabby Attack. This was a Midwest Gaming exclusive that you could get right when you bought your very important gamer. That's the only way you were going to get this game. They had two variants this year. They had this one. It's an NES game. It looks like it's a little bit of a Space Invaders clone with a twist. There's some power-ups and stuff like that in it. But they had two variants of this game. They had this cartridge right here with this packaging, and they had also an Atari 2600 box that it looked like a 2600 box. And you can see I didn't get that one, but my friends did, and they didn't need two copies, and they don't collect, so they're like, take it, man. So I was like, nope, you guys keep it, but they were like insistent that I take it. So I got to thank Kirk and Katie for this. So I have two of these in the collection. One's a blue cart and one's a green cart. And kind of neat little thing I got there right off the door. So I got two in the door, and I know I paid for them, but you know, that was two right off the bat. And then the next day when I went up to their merchandise table, I actually bought two games online. They're event exclusives for the Midwest Gaming Classic 2024. One is Beast Ball for the Genesis. Looks like a little American Gladiator thing going on there, and looks like a little sports ball in an arena, and looks like some fighting, some decapitating, some, you know, bashing, stabbing, whatever. It looks like it is going to be one I'm going to have to check out here. The other one was a limited edition or a premium edition game called Wonderling DX. There's two games on here. It's for the Nintendo Switch, and this was a purchase beforehand, and it is just for the Midwest Gaming Classic. It's an event exclusive, and it is done by Premium Editions for what is the Gamers for Gamers. They do a little vending there, and they do some awesome stuff. On my list this year was some Atari 2600 stuff. Just wanted to get a few carts to increase my collection, and I walked by, and these are cheap. These are like $3 to $5, you know, type of box that you go through, your bin that you go through. And I needed to get Atlantis, and I knew that was one that I needed, so I picked up Atlantis from Imagic. Love these games here. And Magic made a little bit better games. They broke away from Atari, and they made a little bit better games, kind of like an Activision type of thing, and they went under right afterwards, you know, with the great video game crash. There's a great book that Howard Warsaw put out, and there's a great video he put out for the Midwest Gaming Classic that you can watch. If you want to check out YouTube, I picked up another one because I thought, you know, I want to get these games. So I picked up Firefighter for the Atari 2600, and I picked up one more, Riddle of the Sphinx. And you can see they're rough shape, but you know, that's what you're going to find. These games are, you know, over 40 years old. They're going to be in rough shape. Another one that I got was Parker Brothers Star Wars Jedi Arena. And here was a little bit higher one. I bought this one at an $8 price, and you can see the label's a little dinged up top there in a couple spots, and it's faded out. But this is one of those moments where I was trying to rebuild my collection as a kid, and I thought I had most of them done. I thought maybe a handful one, but I saw this cart and I was like, I had this game. I know I had it, and I don't have it in my collection now. So I bought it, and you know, I'm looking forward to popping this one in and playing it on the Atari 2600 Plus. I'm gonna have to do some cleaning of these carts first before I do that. I don't want to gum up my Atari 2600 Plus. And my last two 2600 games are from a vendor there, and it's from a YouTuber named John Hancock. And the first one is a game that I already had, but man, he had some nice cases this year. I just bought a single cart last time, and I have no problem with having single carts, but man, he got some money into these cases, and they're nice. I love the cases. I love the artwork on them. You open them up. He's got a manual in there. The case holds the cart really nice. So this is my second copy of Game Panic. So Game Panic for the 2600. And I couldn't help but right next to it had Game Panic 3 Parcel Success. And this looks like a U.S. Post Office parcel package. The case does. Really nice case. Can't wait to do this. He's an indie game developer, so he puts a lot of time into these games, and he actually put a lot of time into these the packaging. Man, this packaging looks great, and looks like I got a little 3D printed badge right there. Parcel Panic. I'm going to continue on with my Atari collection here, and I'm going to go into the Atari 5200. I didn't have one of these systems as a kid growing up. I had the 2600, and after everything crashed, parents didn't want to invest any money into video games. So we didn't get a whole lot of video games. I think I got a VIC-20 that I had to beg for, and that was years later. And then I got a Commodore 64 after that. But I had a neighbor kid that had the Atari 5200, and the graphics were great on him. Loved going over there and looking at the graphics, and was so envious that he had these graphics and we didn't have them. And then I picked up the controller, and it sucked, man. It was like, are you kidding me? Why would they do this to the controller? You know, it's got the buttons on it. It's got everything on it. I had the Star Raiders button, so you had the phone buttons on the side of the 2600, but this controller sucked. I mean, it was terrible. But once I got as an adult and I started playing these games again, I really appreciated some of the time that they put into them and making it look a little bit better. But I hated the controller. I bought another controller for it. It's an aftermarket controller somebody makes, and love that thing. And I love playing on my Atari 5200. It's not as bad as I thought it was. But I picked Real Sports Football. I did not have that one. I picked up Dig Dug, that I didn't have a copy of that. So now I have a copy of Dig Dug. I picked up Berserk, and I spent a little more than $5 on this one, and I haven't seen that one very often. And then, oh my gosh, This is literally one of my favorite games in the arcade, so I had to pick this up. And it's Robotron 2084. And the bad thing about this game is it's a dual stick shooter. And I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to get a dual stick shooter rig so I can play this game. I also picked up one that had the controller interlays right on the back of it, but I picked up Gorf. And this is not made by Atari, but it's a third-party game, and I picked up Gorf for the 5200. And I should have picked up Frogger 2 after I found Frogger 1. Frogger 1 has one interlay on the back of it, that's all I need because I'm the only one who games in my home. But I got Frogger 1. And another expensive one that I bought, in not terribly, usually you find these games are $3 or $5. So when I found this rare one for $25, I thought I would get this one. It's not one I see very often. It's another one made by Parker Brothers, but Gyrus was a fun arcade game that was flipping awesome. I can't tell you how much fun I had playing Gyrus in the arcade. So now I got on the 5200, and I'm going to have to get these all cleaned up so I can get some video game footage. In the near future, if I want to play and review these games, I'm going to have to get that done. Okay. Let's set this pile over here. And I'm going to go to my next pickups, and this is sad because I already had this game, but I couldn't pass this by. It was a copy of Tomb Raider 2, and the reason I picked this up is I played my other one so much that it was just destroyed. The cover was destroyed. The manual looks like crud. This one is pretty mini condition. Oh, you can see my editing stuff. Oh, there I am. So I picked that one up, and I'm glad to have that upgraded in my collection. I just didn't want to have my old one all beat up, and for that fact, I had to buy this one too. I've got 3 copies of this already. I love playing football games. It's a guilty pleasure, just as playing golf games is a guilty pleasure for me. And I wore this out 3 times. This is my 4th copy of NFL 2K1. The Sega Dreamcast, I don't know if it's my Dreamcast, but it's not friendly on my disc. It's not me throwing the disc around. It's not me setting them on the table and scratching them up. I think it's my system, which would be a good reason to mod out my Dreamcast and go digital ROMs on the thing. Okay, my next pickup is something I'm not going to play too often. A little coffee there. It's something I'm not going to play too often, but it's something that I wanted. And I never wanted this growing up, because when it came out, I was already an adult, and I knew the system was not as good as the other ones. I knew it was not the first 64-bit console. I knew Tom and Jerry was 2 32-bit processors put together. But as I start collecting, you got that little itch that says, all you need just to get one more Atari to finish it out. Get your last Atari. So on the last day of the convention, I saw this at a vendor, and I picked this up. And it wasn't that bad of a price. I picked this up for $325, and I got 2 games with it. And I got the pack-in called Cybermorph. And everybody said it's not that great of a game, but it's not that bad of a game either. So I can't wait to put that in. I've already put this in and played it. I've always liked Tempest. I've liked Tempest in the arcade, and I continue to play Tempest, on different platforms. So now my collection, I finished my Atari console collection by getting the Jaguar. I saw links yesterday at a game store, and I thought, man, do I need to get this handheld to complete the Atari collection? Would that be considered the console? No, it's kind of a handheld, but I don't know. I got that bug itching in me now. It's telling me to get it. My next pickup was the Turbo Booster Plus for the TurboGrafx 16. So, if you know, the TurboGrafx, which I got right here, has a RF connector in it. So if you wanted to go to composite and upgrade your video components on it, you'd have to buy the TurboGrafx Plus, click it in, and then you'd have this big beast of a console. And this thing was great, and I've been looking for it, and I wish I would have bought it a couple years ago. And it was similar to the same price, but a little bit higher, and that's just how things go. So now I've got my TurboGrafx upgraded, and I got composite video ready to go into my retro tank. There's this room at the Midwest Gaming Classic that they actually have it's Guys, Games, and Beer. These guys put on a great room, man. You go in that room, and you have arcade machines. You've got consoles set up all over. I mean, some of these consoles are rare consoles. They've got a Pepsi Man thing set up. It's just kind of their spin on what they want to show off a little bit. They have Steel Battalion playing. They've had some projection units. They got an area where they podcast from. And this is a great room, but one of the fun things that I like to do at this convention is go watch everybody play Pac-Man VS for the GameCube. So I thought I was going to look for this game. I picked it up. Not only did I pick that up, but I picked up the connector for the GameCube to the GBA. So what this game does is it lets you play as one person as Pac-Man on the GBA, and everybody else is connected and plays as a ghost. So you have 3 ghosts running around and 1 Pac-Man running around. The Pac-Man sees everything. The ghost only sees the portion of the maze that they're in. And they're running around trying to catch Pac-Man. And it's just a fun game. It's a fun way to play Pac-Man, and I thought, I'm going to try to pick it up. I picked this game up for $15, and I picked this up for $5. So I've got a party pack here for a good Friday or Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon at my own home. This next pickup is kind of it's a wish list here, because I cannot play these games right now till I find the 3D glasses. But I played this game, Missile Defense 3D, on the Sega Master Systems and loved it. I loved playing the game. It was fun. I couldn't believe the 3D graphics they had for the Master System at the time. They were kind of ahead of the curve on that. And I had a fun time playing it, so I'm looking for the glasses right now. And I picked up also Zaxxon 3D. So I got 2 games that I really can't play till I find the glasses, but I thought, why not? I'm going to pick them up. They were cheap. They were, I think one was $12 and one was $13, so I picked them up for $25. And I continue on with a little Sega, and I know this is kind of a game that you have on every console, but I wanted it on the Saturn because why not? I picked up Tetris Plus for the Saturn. I'm gonna have to check that game out, and I picked up one more game on the Saturn, and I know this was one of the best games at the time on the 3DO, but I picked up Road Rash for the Sega Saturn. Can't wait to be playing away at that. As I said earlier in the video, that we didn't have an NES, we kind of stopped playing games after the 2600 till we got our VIC-20 and Commodore 64s in the house. So my NES collection isn't that big, and I know that it's a beloved system that everybody's got, but I've got them all in emulation, and as I get older, I'm appreciating having these physical games more and not going on the 7 Seas to get these games. And I see the importance of the physical games lasting a lifetime. So I've been picking up some NESs. So this is like not a rare game at all. This is crawl underneath the table and look in the $5 bin type of game. But I picked up Golf. Picked up RoboCop. Next one I picked up is Ivan, what is it? Ivan Ironman Stewart's Super Off-Road. Picked that up. Can't wait to play that one. I love a shooter and I love a Western. I picked up the classic Gunsmoke. And just because of Encino Man, I picked up a little Rad Racer. Picked up another shooter. Got Xevious. The Adventures of Bayou Billy. And I stopped by John Riggs' table, and I've got this uber green cartridge of Gleaming the Cube. And besides t-shirts and crafty things, 3D printed items, glasses, that is it for my game pickups for the 2024 Midwest Gaming Classic. I hope to see you guys all there at the Midwest Gaming Classic. I hope you enjoyed my video. Check out some other videos. Search YouTube. Can't tell you how much I love going to the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I hope you guys are encouraged by some of the video games you see here to get out and start gaming again. As always, guys, thanks for stopping by. If you like what you see, please click the like button down below. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Each and every one of these clicks helps my channel grow a little bit, helps promote it. It will get better as time goes on here, hopefully. That's one thing I see with every YouTuber talk about is just have fun with your videos, talk about what you like. These are the games I like, guys. These are the games I picked up. Hope you enjoy them. There'll be some more videos coming. Thanks, and remember, game on!